Hey, this is Tyrese Anderson. What I want to talk about today is how to defend yourself. So, for this video, I'm going to explain for anyone who's interested in learning how to defend themselves, how you can defend yourself in a simple and effective way, whether you plan to learn martial arts or even self train yourself fighting. This will be a very effective way of helping you understand how to fight. So, let's get started with the first point when it comes to learning how to defend yourself. So, when you learn how to defend yourself, as of course I'm certain you're aware, or anyone would be aware, it's always a situation like you're going to go to a fight. Go to a fight with someone. Maybe it might be a robber, maybe it might be a criminal like a gangbanger or whatever. Besides, I've already touched a bit on this in my previous video a bit, which is actually extremely important if you want to learn how to defend yourself, even from an animal. Which, truth of the matter is, the best way to learn how to fight, at least, or defend yourself, whatever you like to say, to get yourself started, is to realize you have to learn how to deal with the fear factor, okay, of it. Now, when it comes to learning to deal with fear relating to a situation, truth be told, fear is a very intense emotion. But the good thing about fear, well, not necessarily a good thing about fear, but when you get in a situation, particularly if you're doing well, you tend to realize that the fear level actually goes down because of how surreal the situation is, if you can get to that point. But the first thing about fear that obviously makes sense and that you need to do if you really want to handle the fear of a situation is simply analyze the situation itself. Let's just say you're someone who's 6 feet tall and you know how to relatively fight pretty well. Truth be told, um, if you know how to fight, or at least know a thing or two, and you're dealing with some like 5'6", 5'7" person who thinks he's hard or whatnot, or just talking shit for no reason. If you analyze the situation, you're gonna realize chances are likely I'm probably gonna win this fight. I'm taller than him, I have a height advantage over him, and so on and so forth. And so on and so forth. Obviously, because as I said, martial arts and stuff. It should not be mixed up with um underestimating your opponent. Never underestimate your opponent. Whenever you go to combat, you always put 100% effort in your fighting ability. But truth be told, at least putting situations into perspective can at least help with the fear level a bit. So you don't feel extremely fear. Because combat situations are scary, they are frightening, and the best thing to realize is that it's all psychological. Which also brings me to my second point when it comes to learning how to defend yourself, which is actually really well related to the first point, is that as long as you are a human being, you have two hands, you have two arms, you will always, no matter how weak you think you are, you will always have the ability to inflict damage upon your opponent. It's just like, have you ever had that time you were playing a game with your friends and just even just down to common sense, and they said, hey, you can punch me in the arm this many times, birthday punches, and you realize quickly, even if you're not that strong of a person, that at some point the person kind of gets tired of it and says, okay, you don't have to do that anymore. Truth be told, that is one of the most important tips when it comes to learning how to defend yourself, is to realize that you always have the ability to inflict damage upon someone. It's just like if I were to hit someone in the nose, even if I'm not that strong of a person, I'm probably going to break their nose. And this is one of the most important things you need to understand if you want to build some degree of confidence, is that as long as you're a human being, whatever, you have the ability to inflict damage upon someone else. This is a confidence boost. And if anything, even helps with the first point about learning to overcome your fear. Because, truth be told, if you realize that fact and you take it in, then it realizes that you can put a serious injury on someone, truth be told. And if you can put a serious injury on someone in the case of self defense and in self defense only, it makes it more likely and more believable that you can actually defend yourself in a situation when you need to do it. So that's another point you need to keep in mind, is that as long as you have two hands, two arms, two legs, a functioning brain, and just in general an able-bodied person, you have the ability to inflict damage upon someone. And that's what's most important to realize, if anything. Now, thirdly, when it comes to learning how to defend yourself, and this is actually the last point, is also when it comes to learning how to defend yourself, at least if you're someone who goes to the gym, you're already kind of doing this stuff in a sense anyway, is learn how to build a decent level of muscle, like a lot of physical muscle. If you get in a fight with somebody or a situation with somebody, you're more likely to inflict huger damages on people. Now, this one's actually easy, and especially for men, it's definitely something anyone can do. The biggest problem people tend to make when it comes to learning physical strength and stuff is that they think that they have to work like nonstop 24/7. Like, I have to go to the gym, this and that. I'm going to work out for a few weeks to a few months to reach this particular level. But truth be told, when it comes to learning how to work out, there is no such thing as a peak level. Besides, not unless you're planning to actually become a martial artist, to put that much time and effort into learning that stuff is unnecessary, especially in a world, like I said from my previous video, where you pretty much, the chances of you having to actually get in a fight is very unlikely. The average adult probably in their life will get into, and as for the ones that get into, it's probably like 5 fights over the course of their life. While maybe people in the past would have been more like 15, 20, going all the way back in time. So, truth be told, just working out a decent amount is good enough to defend yourself. So, the idea that you have to be a workaholic and stuff is not necessarily necessary. Just work out at a maximum 1 hour a day for at least once a week, and you should build sufficient muscle so if you get in a fight with someone, you have a higher chance of winning, or at least in general inflicting serious damage. Because I know some people in this world have different energies to them, and things that some people in this world, there's something about them, even if they do everything what everyone else is doing and they're not weird or anything, they have a way of attracting some of the worst people who like to bring out the absolute worst in people. I don't know either, but some people just have that energy about them. You just attract the worst people, and not just the worst people, but but they'll do their best to bring out the worst in you. So if you're someone like that, simply working out like an hour a week I think is worth it in all honesty. It won't kill you if anything to work out or lift weights and stuff. It's just what makes people fail is that they think that they have to work nonstop. You just have to do it efficiently and you're good enough to defend yourself and focus on whatever hobby or interest, whatever you plan to do with the rest of your life. So truth be told, this is my video on how to defend yourself. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like more advice videos like this, remember to hit the subscribe button and thumbs us up. And that's all I have to say. So later.